gets it done. It's a photo finish for Brands Hatch coming to the line.
For the push, I don't know. This is going to be a photo finish.
Oh, Stone Colby taking the checkered flag to the inside. Who's it going to be? It's a photo finish. Give it to Brendan Burt. Conquers Watkins Glen. Gets turned across the line.
Thank you for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure. Watkins Glen rewards one thing above almost everything else, and that's commitment. Tonight, the West Coast Sim Racing GTF Challenge swings back to Formula 4 machinery. That means one of America's fastest road courses is about to feel even faster. These lightweight open-wheel cars will attack the Glen with tremendous corner speed, especially through the uphill S's, where confidence and precision can separate the field by tenths in only a few seconds. But carrying that speed comes with consequences. Miss the line into the bus stop, take too much curb, or lose the rear through one of the high-speed transitions. The lap can unravel immediately. The long straights will bring the draft into play, creating opportunities under braking and making it difficult for anyone to escape when several cars begin working together. Once the field reaches the faster sections, dirty air and track position become part of the equation. Formula 4 is about momentum, precision, and trust in the car. And Watkins Glen demands all three in a blink of an eye. The GTF Challenge has changed machinery once again. Now it's time to find out who can make the most of it. Welcome to the West Coast Sim Racing Formula 4 at Watkins Glen International. Let's go racing. Welcome in, folks, to the 3.36 mile racetrack located in the Fingerlings Lakes region of New York. Cloudy skies out here, but looking pretty clear out for us tonight. Tonight, I'll be your host, Augerbach. You're taking you from green to checkered flag on behalf of AK Esports and West Coast Sim Racing. Welcome in. Couple keys to the race: commitment through the S's, control the bus stop, using draft strategically, and of course, making sure that you preserve momentum, not just position. Let's get ready to take the race start, and right now it'll be Fletcher alongside Josh Hunter, Nico Colby, Brendan Myers, Birch, Cunningham, Johnson, Juarez, Andreu, Lee, Thomas, Ballin, Divley, and Onofree, all taking to this race start. Green, green, green is the flag color, and the drivers go racing in towards turn number one. In the background, Colby slots in behind the leaders. Or does he, as he throws shade at Josh Hunter for P2 right now in the backfield? It will be Dylan Lee losing ground to Colin Thomas. Warren Johnson finding some ground today and getting up into P8. Little three wide action for the lead as Jeremy Fletcher throws his elbows out now. And the 22 with a lick of the stamp and a send over the curves here at the bus stop chicane consumes the lead of the race. Three wide coming down into the boot section. Oh no, someone's off. That's Brandon Birch in the number 36 in the background. And now in the foreground, he loses a wing, but will regain it as there is no damage on for this event. And 2 heats coming up. The drivers will have to face a reverse grid for... No reverse grid for the second race. They will have to do it all over again for race number 2. And that will be the 23 of Brendan Myers coming down pit road to serve his black flag from the start of the event. Josh Hunter and his opportunity to win this one right now. Looks at the inside line coming up the hill through the S's on Jeremy Fletcher. Wheel to wheel, the drivers bump a little bit of uglies, but you can't do that as much as you were doing it in the GT3, gentlemen. So make sure you remember we're in open wheelers tonight. Brendan Myers with, I think, insult to injury, has another black flag penalty for speeding in the pits. Might be the end of his race after that. Looking at Warren Johnson in that number 24 in the back of this pack. Separated by 2 seconds from the leader, but still in it to win it right now. Up ahead, Josh Hunter. Still trying to challenge Jeremy Fletcher. The draft being ever so important here at Watkins Glen, especially in these F4 machines. Top speed varying around 3 to 5 miles per hour. Getting the draft can help you that much. JFR using all the real estate at turn 1 to his disposal. Might have gained a little bit of ground from it. We'll look back here at Colin Thomas, though, because he's locked in arms with Edwin Onofre. And their battle right now is a 3-way squabble between the 91, the 199, and the 19. That's Alexei Andreu leading the 3-way menage a trois currently. Into the bus stop chicane, Alexei goes off at the grass and will lose out all those positions that he was earning so hard from the beginning of the race. Alexei will resume the racetrack in P13 behind Thomas Divley. Dylan Lee now going to be the next driver to cross the line and trying to get crossed Colin Thomas. And Edwin Onofre off the road by just a small margin on the racetrack. Interesting to see Onofre back this far in the pack, and we've only got 2 laps into it, so the comparison is pretty brief there, but Birch being the faster of the trio. And no surprise there. Welcome in, Mr. Birch. Welcome in, Hayden Hinchcliffe. Josh Hunter now into the lead of this one. Gets by Jeremy Fletcher down the straightaway. It seemed like it was signed, sealed, and delivered for Fletcher to be in the lead of this one until the checkered flag flew, but no. Josh Hunter was able to walk right on by down the pit straight. I have a feeling like Fletcher is going to try to snap back here now. Here we go, side by side in the bus stop chicane. Or is Fletcher going to be free and clear into the bus stop chicane? Someone has to give, but none will. All the way through the bus stop, side by side, even switchbacks engaged from the 81 to the 22. Josh Hunter and Jeremy Fletcher take this all the way down to the chute. 16 can pick a line and decide who he wants to help. At the end of the day, the young gun Nico Colby has decisions to make and slots into his own groove. And let's see what he can do to the inside line. Jeremy Fletcher tries to cover it off, going defensive on his own right. And now Nico Colby has to sit back and wait for his own opportunity to strike once more. I thought the opportunity was there, but no. And look at this, Connor T. Cunningham in the background right now of all this battling. He's been dragged into the mix right now. P4 all the way to P1. Spread, well, it's about half a second between the Quattro. Side by side up ahead between Nico Colby and Josh Hunter. 16 and the 81 begin their drag race down the front stretch, but it will go the way for Josh Hunter in his F4. Here we go, down the back stretch. Into the inner loop. And to the outer loop. All the way down to the chute. The drivers stay spread by around half a second across the Quattro. Warren Johnson continues to battle, but this time with Colton Juarez being in front in the Red Bull machine. There's the comparison between Colton Juarez and Warren Johnson. Johnson to the inside line in the number 24. Anything to get one done. And I'll do anything for a Klondike bar this day of the week. 186 challenges Warren Johnson to the outside line coming into turn 13. Back in touch with Jeremy Fletcher, the number 22, in the lead of this one. And Josh Hunter, number 81, follows. Nico Colby in the number 16. The 502 of Connor Cunningham up 2 positions for his games tonight. Jeremy Fletcher tries to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge his way to cover off the attacks from behind, but Nico Colby's the one to do it all at the end of the evening. With 10 minutes on the clock, Nico Colby finds P1. Fletcher's not going to let his teammate go that easily, I suppose. Otherwise, what are teammates for than to help you push your limits? Vehicle buyer's machine, switchback engaged at the toe. Goes to the inside and 3 wide coming down the middle straight. All the way into the middle part of the boot, into the heel, 3 abreast, and Nico Colby's the first to blink and back out. And of course, Jeremy Fletcher stays committed to that outside line. Please, plenty of racing room on the inside for the 2 drivers to stay committed as well. But 2 decide to back out of it earlier rather than later. One of the advantages of being on the outside, you can outbrake your opponent and stay committed to carrying that speed and just run wide when things go awry, especially if you're in the middle. You have to get it right. The middle has to be pitch perfect. You can't go too wide. You can't go too shallow. Otherwise, will run into an opponent and ruin your race. But West Coast Sim Racing stays well equipped to do everything here at the Glen, leaving all on the line. What about Jacob Bolland? Newcomer to the league and the championship this season, but not a newcomer to the Formula 4s as he and Colin Thomas exchange a couple of blows, wheel to wheel, up the hill, through the S's. Ballin finds P9 and Colin Thomas falls back to P10, but this squabble isn't over with yet. Nico Colby gets a slowdown penalty in the number 16. He'll fall back to P4 and potentially beyond. P4 is as worse as it gets for Nico Colby now, who's down one position on his charge. And what happens to Fletcher? We lose Fletcher again, twice in 1 week. Twice in 1 week, we lose Jeremy Fletcher. Can he recover this time? Can he at least stay on the lead lap? We know he's been faced with some internet troubles or connection issues throughout this week, and we wish the race wouldn't end under such conditions, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes that's the way of the road. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she don't. Side by side, it will be deterministic for Nico Colby to get up in P2. In the background, Warren Johnson and Colton Juarez go wheel to wheel, as this battle hasn't settled down since the opening stages. And look who's in the mix. That's Edwin Onofre in the 199, no longer looking at a plaid tech sport livery or paint scheme. He's in the Ford. Speaking of Fords, the Oracle Red Bull machine under attack from Edwin Onofre. Onofre can't slot in between the Oracle and Warren Johnson, so he slots in behind the leaders. .420 on the clock, or 14:20 on the clock, I should say. And that'll mean that we're on to the white flag lap. Barney waving it furiously and fervorously for us. And a pit stop there for Edwin Onofre. I wonder what that's about. Josh Hunter leads us by 3/4 of a second in front of Nico Colby. Connor Cunningham trying to find himself a podium tonight. All he has to do is bring it home to the checkered flag, and the podium could be his. Warren Johnson with a very good result as well, provisionally in P4, but Colton Juarez definitely has something to say about that. Brendan Birch recovering up to P6, but hold your horses. Here's Josh Hunter, Connor Cunningham, and Nico Colby all the way down to the heel. And we'll go Connor Cunningham's way, slotting in front of the young Nico Colby. Drag to the line between Nico Colby and Connor Cunningham, but it goes the way for Josh Hunter at the end of it. Warren Johnson picked up the pieces of 4th place, and then Colton Juarez in 5th, Brandon Birch in 6th, Colin Thomas in 7th, Jacob Bolland, Alexe Andreu, Edwin Onofre, Thomas Dively, Jeremy Fletcher, Dylan Lee, and Brendan Myers rounding it out. We'll take a look at the unofficial results here in a moment as the session concludes. The 22 being the last of the drivers to bring it home and nearly being a lap down, but able to reconnect just in the nick of it. Finishes on the lead lap. Taking a look at the results, it was Josh Hunter, Connor Cunningham, and Nico Colby in 1, 2, 3's order. Then Warren Johnson collects 4th position. And Colton Juarez, Brandon Birch, Colin Thomas, Jacob Bolland, Alexe Andreu, Edwin Onofre, Thomas Dively, Jeremy Fletcher, Dylan Lee, and Brendan Myers rounding out the 14 drivers in the F4s. Take a look at the championship points before we got into it tonight. It was Edwin Onofre, Josh Hunter, Nico Colby, the 1, 2, 3. Then Brandon Birch, Brendan Myers, Alexe Andreu, Benito Gonzalez, Connor T. Cunningham in 8th, Jeremy Fletcher in 9th, and Dylan Lee round out your top 10. Outside the top 10, it's Warren Johnson, Nathaniel Redmond, Colton Juarez, Jacob Bolland, Slater Colby, Mitch Crowther, Colin Thomas, and Boris Dragovich. We got a quick break before we get racing, folks, for heat number 2. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We have more racing action yet to come in just a few moments, as we're just 1 minute away from getting the drivers gridded up. Let's hear who you're cheering for and who you're here to see tonight. Hayden Hinchcliffe obviously here for Jacob Bolland, and Mr. Birch here for Little Birch, Brandon Birch. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with you from Green to Checkered Flag. On behalf of AK Esports and on behalf of West Coast Sim Racing, I'm Sagar Bakshi, taking you from start to finish. Take a look at that starting grid, shall we? Josh Hunter and Connor Cunningham on that first row. Starting further back, it's going to be Nico Colby and Warren Johnson. And after that will be Colton Juarez and Brandon Birch. Following Birch will be Colin Thomas and Jacob Bolland. Following Bolland will be Alexe Andreu and Edwin Onofre. Thomas Dively and Jeremy Fletcher, and Dylan Lee and Brendan Myers. Drivers rev their engines as we get ready to go racing, folks. And all eyes on Cunningham for the race start of the season. could get it all right around Josh Hunter. He's got to defend cars further back. The 16 there alongside. There goes Cunningham. Long way around the outside. Uses a little bit of track limits there, but keeps it on the red and yellow stripes. Now curbing. That is not using past track limits. That is still track limits. There's not the NASCAR track limits. So Cunningham, well within it, will not get a slowdown penalty from the in-race stewards. Nico Colby, however, and Warren Johnson, however, trying to find a podium tonight for Johnson. Could be the reason why we have an interview tonight, or could be the reason why we have a big one tonight as he collects 2 for 1 in the special. That will be Birch and Colton Juarez, unfortunately. And 2 cars becoming 1. That's how Formula 3s are made, boys and girls. Let's see what happened here coming down into bus stop. It was Johnson going off, then the 186 collects him. Ooh, man, just a tricky one to call. Bad angles. Look at this one. Number 19 of Alexandria. I thought he was just in the banana boat machine, but no, he's in the Camel GT livery. That one is a snazzy Camel Elf livery, excuse me. Beautiful one. And I'm not one to condone smoking, folks, but I mean, the Camel is cool, is he not? That is one cool Camel. Connor Cunningham into the lead of this one in front of Nico Colby. Nico Colby might not let Cunningham win twice in a row. The vehicle buyer's badge machine all the way to the inside line, drags it out with Connor Cunningham, wheel to wheel through the bus stop chicane, but Cunningham says discretion is the better part of valor and backs out of that one. The 502 now has to deal with Josh Hunter. Jeremy Fletcher, who is already on a recovery drive, now playing with his food. Thomas Dively, and I think Jeremy Fletcher is always just here to have a good time, not here for a long time, so here to go wheel to wheel with all the drivers in West Coast Sim Racing to give them a little taste of the Fletcher. It's always what it's about. Jeremy Fletcher has been known to coach other drivers throughout the West Coast Sim Racing rostrum and give them a little bit of insight on what it takes to go real life racing. Joe Rainey, also another driver to give coaching to the West Coast Sim Racing roster from time to time, experienced in real life racing himself. Often gives a little bit of insight to the rest of the field on what it's like. And there it is, a big mistake from Brandon Birch as he just cannot catch a break tonight. But sharing that wealth of knowledge and expressing what can and cannot be done in the simulator versus what can or cannot be done in real life allows the drivers to all elevate their game. And as Fletcher respectfully stated last time out, from where we were at the beginning of meeting to where we are today, drivers have gone leaps and bounds to improve their lap times and their ability to battle it out, such as this, as closely as we've seen all season long. Here goes Connor Cunningham, who usually isn't a podium contender, but tonight the F4s at Watkins Glen, everything seems to be aligning for him. Connor always in the top 5, top 10 mix guaranteed, but top 3, it's been a while since we've talked to Connor Cunningham. It'll be nice to talk to him again if he can get the double trouble podium. We'll be happy to see it and happy to talk to him as always. Dylan Lee in the background, gaining 5 positions on the evening. Looks forward and catches up to Alexei Andreu. Nico Colby leads Josh Hunter now. And then Connor Cunningham in that 5:02. Free, well far back from this battle, but still could be in it to win it if he plays his cards right. The 199, about a second back from the leader now, but gaining. Here we go, 2x2 into the bus stop chicane, but it will be single file on entry. Looking further back, Alex Andreu in a bit of a sandwich between the number 91 of Colin Thomas and Dylan Lee further behind. There comes Jeremy Fletcher. Talk about a choo-choo train. Not Thomas the tank engine, it's Jeremy Fletcher the tank engine. He chews through the field. Jeremy Fletcher being extremely respectful tonight and leaving tons of real estate around the outside and almost locking wheels with Brennan Myers, Colin Thomas in the 91 at the tow section, but keeping it calm, cool, and collected. I think both drivers let off the throttle to unlock themselves from each other. I was just saying, Jeremy Fletcher being extremely respectful tonight and leaving tons of racing room on the outside, and then they go ahead and lock wheels with each other. Warren Johnson having a bit of an incident and going back to the garage for him. Let's check in with Onofre as we come in towards turn one. He's still behind Connor Cunningham, who's trying to hold on to a podium. We know Edwin Onofre is no slouch. We're only 8 minutes into this one, folks. We still have nearly 20 minutes remaining under the clock. 19 if we're going to be technical about it, but still. 4 laps in for the feature race. Josh Hunter on the attack, 2 by, coming down into the toe. 16 slots in ahead of the 81. The 199 slots in front of the 502 of Cunningham. Birch is out because he crashed. Let's get a replay of what happened there. This is what happened to the 36. This was earlier with the 186, right? No, he just parks it. He was involved in this incident earlier on. Let's get a replay of this one. This is the Warren Johnson, Colton Juarez incident that initially took him out of the race. Hunter, Colby, Onofre, Cunningham. Cunningham trying to snap back, can't do it at turn one, not on Onofre. You have to wake up a little bit earlier in the morning to pull the wool over Mr. Onofre's eyes. And nobody wakes up earlier than Onofre. He's the man that makes the coffee for the cooks. Wakes up so early in the morning. Here we go. Onofre chases down Nico Colby. And Onofre with a little bit of a knob at the bus stop chicane. I wonder if he gets a slowdown. No, just a track limits violation. So 1X under his belt won't be too bad for his run. Or did he even get an X? He stays ahead of Josh Hunter, number 81. on the side pod of Onofre. Brendan Myers, the 23, tumbles down the order. That's because he went off track and teleported back to pit lane. So RTG there. Stay locked in towards the halfway point of this one for the top four. Nico Colby, Edwin Onofre, Josh Hunter, Connor Cunningham, separated by their blanket of less than around 2 seconds. Here we go, Onofre trying to make his run for the lead of this event. But is that where you want to be at the halfway point? You can possibly save a little bit of fuel and stay slipped in behind the field in front. Now Cunningham stays in fourth, 199, actually slots back into third. Onofre with 7 gain. Josh Hunter up into second now. Who has a locomotive skin? Who does? Which one of these gentlemen? Josh Hunter in the 81, possibly? Hey, Hinchcliffe, you must let me know which one of these gentlemen has a steam locomotive skin. I was not aware. We'll have to take a look through the field now. But not now, as we go wheel to wheel between the 81 and the 16, coming down in towards turn 1. And all the way down in towards 1, make a little bit too wide for Nico Colby. He might have to give a little bit of that time back, or maybe not, as Josh Hunter chases him down. I didn't know you could bump draft in Formula 4s, but apparently you can. And Josh Hunter definitely helping out Nico Colby with a little bit of pushing down the back stretch. Nose to tail between Colby, Hunter, Onofre, and Cunningham. Lap times coming in. Best of them going Josh Hunter's way last time around. Can he make hay while the sun is shining? Well, the sun's not shining too brightly here in the Finger Lakes region of New York. Out of the last corner, the 81 gets a good drive, and the 16 touches a little bit of grass, but I don't think that's what the kids are talking about these days. Nico Colby does love his grass, as Milena told us last time around. And maybe he wants a little bit of that, tries to go back in, but Edwin Onofre consumes that real estate and he tries to slot in behind Josh Hunter, forces him to go side by side and get the side grass suck all the way up the hill into the bus stop. 2 by. Connor Cunningham decides enough is enough. I want to be in charge of this battle as well. Sauts back in behind Josh Hunter, but for how long? And Edwin Onofre goes back to P4. Great battle for the lead. A little bit of a lockup there from Nico Colby in the lead of this one by only a tenth, maybe even less, to Josh Hunter. Wheel to wheel down into the heel. Into the top of the key before we get to the penultimate corner, and then the final one where the drivers are going to stay flat out and committed through the final 2 corners. Nico Colby having a little slip up again out of the final corner. Leaves him vulnerable to the attacks of Josh Hunter into turn 1, but no, Josh Hunter can't capitalize on the tiny, minuscule, microfractional mistakes that Nico Colby is making. Lap times coming in last time around 48.8, 48.9, 48.9, 48.7, 48. Correction, 47.6. From who is that? You might wonder in P5. It's Jeremy Fletcher. Cue the job music, folks. Jeremy Fletcher chases down Connor Cunningham and Edwin Onofre, Josh Hunter, and Nico Colby as he disconnected from Heat 1. Rejoins to finish on the lead lap. Comes back for heat number 2, starts from the back of the pack, and has to do the hard work all over again. Up 7 positions on the evening so far from P12. 81 going wheel to wheel with Nico Colby in the lead of this one. This is what all the battling for the lead has cost them. Time to Jeremy Fletcher. Fletcher not minding the battles at all. Says, bring them on, why don't you? And Edwin Onofre trying to secure the lead as well, because could walk away with a championship by the end of this season, but not if Jeremy Fletcher has any say in that. Tries to go the long way around the outside, but it would be Onofre to get the moves done on Josh Hunter instead. Now trailing behind, the wheel-to-wheel action begins with Fletcher looking to the inside on Josh Hunter. And now we'll go all the way into the boot section together. Just as Tina Turner said, together forever. That might not be Tina Turner. Never mind. We'll move swiftly on from that one. Jeremy Fletcher, though, all the way up into P3 in front of Josh Hunter, Nico Colby, and Edwin Onofre in the 1-2-3 combo. Driver squabbling for position. Nico Colby trying to hold on to something, but no, it will go the way for Onofre into the lead. Coming into the final 7 minutes, that means that we'll only get a handful of laps to remain. Connor Cunningham hasn't given up in this. Driver is slapping up against the wall. losing a little bit of speed on exit there. Maybe that's all that Jeremy Fletcher needs. Using a bit of, well, track limits on exit of turn 1, but the drivers probably have a few X's to spare. Here's the bump drafting again. This time it'll be the background of Fletcher into the 16, but 2 by 2 into the bus stop chicane typically doesn't work. But here at West Coast Sim Racing, the drivers can handle anything you throw at them. 5-way battle for the lead with 5 minutes left to go. Sure, why not? Fletcher trying to dice it up. Looks to the inside line on Hunter again, but no. Out of the boot section. Onofre leads Josh Hunter, Fletcher, Colby, Cunningham, Alex Andreu, Dylan Lee, Colin Thomas, Colton Juarez, Jacob Ballin, Thomas Divley, Brennan Myers out, Warren Johnson in the pits, Brendan Birch out, leaving just 11 drivers to remain in this amazing event brought to you by West Coast Sim Racing. The drivers have swapped back from GT3s to GT4s all season long, and here at round 6, we're back into the GT4 machines. Wheel to wheel coming through the bus stop chicane. Who's going to run in too deep? The 22 collects a little bit of grass, but goes off not too far to get violations by the stewards. Oh my goodness, a little bit of a hip check there from Nico Colby into Josh Hunter. But I don't think that was intentional, so Josh Hunter will race how he's being raced. Maybe give a little love back to Nico Colby, but no thing needing to be done on this occasion. Josh Hunter slots in right in front of Colby. Onofre, Fletcher, Hunter, Colby, Cunningham. Hunter chases down Nico Colby. Cunningham in the background watches on in this battle of 5. Fletcher takes a look at Onofre for the lead. He doesn't take a look. He takes a leap of faith and goes for it at the bus stop. Now into the front of the 5 behind. Unbelievable gains from Jeremy Fletcher. Off the racetrack as he tries to push and stay out in front of Onofre. Fletcher, Onofre, Colby, Hunter, Cunningham, Andreu, Thomas, Bolland, Juarez, Dively, Dylan Lee, Brennan Myers, Warren Johnson, and Birch. Fletcher leads us around for the last time. Under attack from the 199. The battle for first in the championship lies between these two as well. Wheel to wheel into the bus stop chicane. Fletcher a nose ahead, still in front of Onofre. Watching on is Nico Colby from Copeland Motorsports. Last 30 seconds of this one will be a hoedown showdown to the checkered flag. We might not be in Texas, folks, but we are going to have a rodeo. When Barney starts waving that checkered flag, we're going to see fireworks fly. Here we go. Onofre locks wheels with Jeremy Fletcher as they go all the way down to the penultimate corner. Onofre locks it in with Jeremy Fletcher. Gives a little bit of racing room back. Gets some himself into the final corner. A drag to the line between Fletcher and Onofre, and nothing separates them. Holy Toledo, the four drivers separated by nothing. What a race. Holy smokes, folks. Bolland leads Colton Juarez to the checkered flag in their battle for P8 and 9. Thomas Dibley rounds out the top 10. Jeremy Fletcher took the win in front of Onofre by 23 thousandths of a second. Nico Colby was just a tenth and a half back in third, with Josh Hunter being just a margin back from there. Connor Cunningham, Alexei Andreu, Colin Thomas, Jacob Bolland, Colton Juarez, Thomas Dively, Dylan Lee, Brendan Myers, Warren Johnson, and Brandon Birch. And of course, Jeremy Fletcher getting the Hard Charger Award this evening. Let's go ahead and start talking to the drivers that made it to the checkered flag in that order. First, we're going to go ahead and talk to Nico Colby. Oh, no, first we'll talk to Josh Hunter. Then we'll talk to Nico Colby. Let's go ahead and talk to the drivers. First and foremost, we'll go ahead and talk to Josh Hunter first. Driver came back in fourth for the feature race, but I think things were looking pretty for the first heat. Josh, how did things end up falling your way so well for the first heat, and where could things been improved for the feature race today?
Well, I just managed to survive, so that's all that really matters. Didn't really get much practice tonight, and Road Atlanta was terrible for me last time with these cars, so I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Especially with the victory in heat 1, right?
Yeah, that was good. It's fun.
And a great battle. Go ahead.
As far as the second race, I just kept dipping my tires on the last turn, so kept sliding, and that's how I lost all those spots. But oh well, it was still fun.
It looked like a really fun event out there tonight. Like, what is it about Watkins Glen that makes it such a driver's circuit, despite whatever car you're in?
It just flows really well. That's really all there is to it.
Well, it definitely is a driver's circuit, and one that you either love it or you hate it. And it seems like things went your way in the number 81. Josh Hunter here in victory lane for the main race. Excuse me. Who would you like to shout out, and who would you like to thank?
Just everyone involved with the league and the broadcasts, and thankfully it was clean racing up front. I was a little worried about getting dive bombed or whatever, but it worked out.
It was a great race up at the front for sure, and especially for the feature race. We'll talk about that next. Josh Hunter, thank you very much for supporting West Coast Sim Racing. Have a great night and stay safe out there.
Thank you too.
Next up, we're going to talk to Nico Colby, who came in third for the feature race. I'll make sure I get this one right. Number 16, how were you able to pick up the pieces tonight?
Yeah, I didn't get too much practice, but just got a setup last second, and it was good. Got a quality from Birch, shout out Birch, and just, yeah, it was a fun race overall.
Do you also have a Helios logo on your car now, Nico Colby?
Yeah. Yes, I do, for Stephen Birch, Birch's dad.
Well, shout out to Mr. Birch there as well. But back to the racing action. Talk to us about that basically 5-way battle to the checkered flag from Fletcher to Cunningham, and how did it feel to be locked into that battle pack?
Yeah, no, it was super fun. It was all clean racing up front between Connor, Josh, Jeremy, and Edwin. It was just a fun race in these cars.
You didn't have to throw Jeremy Fletcher's name in there as well, but
yeah.
No, clean driving all around, and especially in these F4s, the punishment for getting wheel to wheel and getting net coated is really the only way to say it, is high. How do you guys end up locking wheels with each other and managing to come through cleanly?
I think it's a lot of just the skills for the drivers, just knowing how to manage that, and also just the racecraft of all the guys up front.
For sure. And as we talked about last week, the racecraft has just been improving season after season with West Coast Sim Racing, thanks to the help of amazing real-life drivers throughout the league, such as yourself. And congratulations on that real-life drive, Nico Colby. Hopefully we'll talk to you and more times in the future. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank?
You for the broadcast, Warren for the league, everyone that helps the league, JFR Esports, vehicle buyers, and everyone that comes out and races.
Right on. Thank you very much for supporting West Coast Sim Racing, Nico Colby. Have a great night and stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Next, we'll talk to, I think, the 199, Edwin Onofre, who should still be in the lead of this championship because he was in the lead by a healthy margin. How does it feel to be back in the F4s, Edwin, after a change of scenery from the GT3s last time out?
Definitely something that I could have probably prepared a little bit more, especially since I came in during the last 5 minutes of qualifying. I just basically full sense. I just tried my best with the car with the limited amount of time that I had, and so far it worked out really well. Heat 1, I came down pit road because I was 1 lap less on fuel, so I basically had to refuel. Not that it mattered, because for me, my mentality is it's not where I start or qualify, it's where I finish the race. And going from 10th, I believe, in Heat 2 the feature race to all the way to P2, almost capturing that win by just a few hairs. That was intense right there. And I went ahead and posted up into the server a picture on my watch, my smartwatch, about my beats per minute, and it's at 133 after crossing the finish line. I'm like, oh my god, that was fun right there. Man, that was after what happened tonight, I was like, well, I was not expecting to be up here. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'd like to thank everybody who was in this race. That made it really fun. That was like a little last to first challenge, although that was more of like a last to maiden. But still, like I said, a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody hanging around. Appreciate all the members in the league having fun out here, and I'll appreciate all the members watching on YouTube as well for Sim Racing. Thank you so much for that. I'm out of breath.
Thank you very much, Edwin Onfree. Have a great night, and we'll move on to Jeremy Fletcher next, the driver from JFR Esports. The number 22 had a bit of a last to first challenge himself, not by plan or not by his own fruition. It just seems to be his luck. These last couple of races, 2 times in the same week, Jeremy Fletcher, just can't go your way. Or is that 3 times in 1 week?
That's all 3 this week, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness. But able to recover, man. Oh man. How are you able to do it time and time again?
I mean, I spent a lot of prep on that setup. So, if you look at the start of the race, I did a barrel roll exiting the bus stop. It was about 10 seconds back. So, put my head down, knew I had the car. I was kind of catching about a second a lap. So, was strong paced. Car felt good. I felt good. And same thing, kept my head down, hit my marks, waited for chaos to erupt, which it didn't really go that crazy, but happy I could get back up to the front and get in the mix.
It was a really great charge through the field, and it was a really great battle at the front. Not your typical JFR esports fashion where you see you kind of control the pack. It was more of a all-out warfare between you and the top 5. You know, what was that difference and change of pace like to have the likes of Connor Cunningham fighting up in the mix?
Yeah, I think Connor needs to go change his shorts after that race. He was having a great time. He thought it was a blast. But it's always good seeing those guys, you know, that have been kind of mid pack right at the back of the lead pack, and he showed strong pace. He was as fast as anybody tonight, and Josh Hunter as well. He really got his elbows out tonight, which I think is good for him. You know, made it a challenge for everybody to get by him.
100%.
Edwin
Josh
is
Hunter.
always
Yeah.
super smart, leaves room where room needs to be, and Nico's a buffoon, but that's something we can skip.
What can we do about the young Nico Colby but love him with open arms when he does things like throw the Helios logo on the side of his car for Mr. Birch out there? So we still love him. He's our monkey in the room. But we love him. We love him to death. Jeremy Fletcher, who'd you like to shout out and who'd you like to thank here in Victory Lane tonight?
The whole JFR Esports crew. Like I said, the rebranding's been going pretty good. A whole bunch of content's coming out on that. Colby family, Rainey family. Birch for being a part of the rebrand. Unfortunate luck for him tonight. You for putting on this broadcast. Warren for putting on the league. And everybody that comes in week out.
And if anybody wants to catch up on all the JFR Esports news and new content that they're posting, where can they catch up on that, Jeremy?
Just Instagram as of right now.
Sounds good. We'll keep posted on more. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for joining and supporting West Coast Sim Racing. Have a great night, my friend.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Let's go ahead and talk to the number 24, Warren Johnson, who had a pretty tremendous Heat 1. We'll let Warren narrate what happened there as he came out in P4 for that race.
Yeah, that was a good race. I really like this track. I've always liked this track. Always been strong here. Even with the injured ankle, I was feeling good. I got my little compression wrap around it, so we're doing all right. Race 2 was going good. Had an unfortunate incident in the bus stop. We were too wide going in, and I backed off like just as we hit the first apex. And then Josh ran super wide into me and pushed me into the grass. And then I came back on, and the curb kind of flung the back end up, and I skirted it left a little bit due to that. And then Colton got the back of me. unfortunate, but it's a good result for the first race. I'm happy with that, and I had a lot of fun. So
Absolutely. It
all
looked like
good
you were
there.
trying to tame a bucking bronco coming through the bus stop chicane like we were in the foothills of Montana or something like that. I mean, it was
Yeah,
nose down, butt up, the way I like to the whole thing,
Oh,
man.
man, that's crazy. Yeah, it was a wild one, but it's a fun track and a lot more fun F4 races coming up. I really love these cars, man. These F4 cars are great, little machines. What's
I
next?
wasn't sure about them, but now I think I'm becoming a fan, Warren Johnson. I think I'm becoming a fan.
They're awesome. Next is COTA for the F4s. That's in 2 weeks on the 27th.
That's a
But
big,
next,
wide track for these very little cars.
yeah, I hate that track, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Three
Spa is the
wide through
next race.
the snake, you think?
Yeah, I don't think so. Fucking hate that place. But what's next on our agenda here? We got did we are Mount Panorama, Phillip Island on Monday. That's one of the best tracks in the
Ooh.
game. That is consistently has been one of the best race tracks for this league for action and racing. That's going to be fun. And then Mazdas, we got, let's see, I think Road America. That's Road America, which is good practice because Nico will be doing Road America as well as Jeremy and Stone Slater. They're all going to be out there racing GR Cup. One of the twins is racing. I can't remember which one. I think Stone, but either way, they're going to be out there. So make sure you go and support them. But otherwise, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for to all the drivers. Thanks for streaming. It's been a great week. Can't wait to see you on the second half starting Monday.
Absolutely. As we finish up round 6, we'll start the second half on Monday. Take care, Warren Johnson, and thanks for all the work you do behind the scenes. Have a great night. Stay safe out there.
You as well, man. Thanks. See ya.
That'll wrap things up for us here from New York. Well, not really New York. From Watkins Glen, New York. The 11 Corners have presented us with a ton of action here at the Glen. 3.4 miles of racing action in total. On behalf of AK Esports, on behalf of West Coast Sim Racing, it's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag, but all good things have to come to an end, and so shall this. Have a great night, and most importantly, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye for now.